Hey, what's up guys? Spencer Rhodes here. So, Noah was a character that was introduced, I believe, in The Walking Dead Season 5, Episode 4. It is the episode where we first see Beth again after like a 5-6 episode straight absence, and we find out, what happened to her character and that she had pretty much gotten kidnapped by this hospital group. And she meets Noah, and he had pretty much been forced to stay there, and he has a limp, and, if he breaks any rules or tries to escape, the leader, Officer Dawn, she beats him, hurts him, and they both try to escape, and Beth is the only, or no, not Beth, Noah is the one that actually gets away, and Beth is captured once again. But yeah, that is basically the introduction to Noah's character. He is one of those characters that only lasted one season. I mean, pretty much less than one season, but, one season. He was introduced in Season 5. He was killed off in Season 5. And do I feel that he was killed off too soon? This one is going to have to be a no. Now, first of all, I want to explain that I have nothing against the actor. I think the actor did pretty good. Every scene that I watched him in the season, I feel that he gave it everything he had, and he didn't embarrass himself. He did a good job portraying this character. However, I just wasn't a very big fan of the character, and I hope no one gets mad at me for saying that. I think there might be some people in my YouTube community that like the character, and I'm sorry if that's a disappointing thing to hear, that I'm not a huge fan of this character. I hope that you don't get too mad. I hope you don't unsubscribe or anything. I mean, look, everyone has different opinions. I'm sure that I like characters that other people hate, and vice versa. So, I just hope that we can agree to disagree and still respect each other's opinions. I mean, it's just opinions. I mean, the beautiful thing about the human race is that a lot of people have different opinions. If we all had the same opinion on everything, it would be boring as fuck. So I hope that people aren't mad at me for saying that I was not a very big fan of this character. First of all, I don't know. He was just kind of bland and uninteresting, like as a character, like as a person. Noah was not someone I wanted to I didn't really care about his journey or his character development, or, if he was going to be in Season 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever the fuck. He wasn't really a character I cared about. He wasn't really a character that I connected with. I had really connected with Beth, and I like Beth, and, then Beth died in the middle of Season 5, and I don't know. I mean, she kind of died for Noah's character. Like, in a way, she kind of got herself killed to help Noah, because the hospital was about to get Noah back. Dawn was about to get Noah back, and Rick's group, they really just cared about Beth. And Beth did not want Noah to get captured again, so she stabbed Dawn with scissors, and then Beth got shot, and then Dawn got shot, and then Rick's group got Noah back. I mean, between Beth and Noah, I wish they had just gotten Beth back and Noah got killed or something. I don't know. I mean, I would trade Noah for Beth any day. I would definitely have preferred Beth to have lived longer and Noah to have just gotten killed off. I just didn't really feel anything for Noah's character. It wasn't that I hated him or anything. I don't know. He just seemed like too normal, too bland. Like he didn't seem like someone that was gonna like turn into a badass soldier for all out war or anything. He just seemed kind of bland and not very interesting. And later on, in episode 9 of Season 5, I kind of feel like he gets Tyrese killed. Now, we can argue about that all day. I mean, Tyrese was looking at a picture and he wasn't paying attention. A walker got behind him. He wasn't paying attention. The walker bit Tyrese's arm because he wasn't paying attention. I get it. But still, I mean, I kind of feel like Noah, in a way, Noah got Tyrese killed. Sort of how, in a way, Daryl got Glenn killed. It doesn't mean you have to hate Daryl or anything. It just means, I don't know. For me, it's hard to look at Noah and not think about Beth dying and Tyrese dying, and how he was kind of connected to both of those deaths. I mean, Noah's fairly connected to both Beth and Tyrese dying, and I loved Beth and Tyrese. I loved Beth and Tyrese in season 4. They were two of my favorite characters that weren't dead yet. And then they both died literally side by side in season 5, and they were both linked to this new guy that I hadn't gotten to know very well, that wasn't that interesting. I didn't feel like, Beth and Tyrese's deaths were worth it. I just didn't really like Noah, and I didn't understand what the writers were trying to do with him. I was worried that he was going to end up being a writer's pet, and he was going to be this sort of stupid character that a lot of people didn't like, but the writers liked him, so that they'd give him so much plot armor, and that he would be in season 6, season 7, season 8, season 9, 10, 11, and that wasn't the case. I did not expect his death. His death was just like that hit me like a ton of bricks. I was like, what? And they didn't just kill him, like, they killed him brutally. Like, to this day, Noah has one of the most brutal deaths in the entire Walking Dead show. That's not even being dramatic. He really does. He really does. It's more graphic and bloody than T-Dog's death. You could argue that it's worse than Glenn's death. I don't know. I mean, they're fairly tied as far as the brutality and the gore goes. But man, they really killed him. They killed him. I don't know if they killed him off because of the audience not liking him. Maybe once they got to season 5, episode 14, that's the episode where Noah gets killed. Maybe by that point they had heard criticisms from people, maybe fans, maybe actors, maybe the writers changed their minds on him, and they didn't like him that much. It did seem like they were building Noah up to be a character that was going to live a long time. I mean, Beth and Tyrese pretty much die for him. So, when you have something like that happen, you feel like a character like that's going to live a long time. Like, their journey is just beginning, and the writers have these big plans for this character, but that ended up being Enid, not Noah. Enid was kind of the bland character that was the writer's pet that lives a very unnecessarily long time and stuff like that. I thought it was going to be Noah. I thought Noah was going to be a writer's pet, because it definitely seems like with the way they introduced his character and the way that Beth and Tyrese both pretty much die for him, that he was a character that the writers had a lot of plans for. Maybe it was an attempt to subvert our expectations, or they changed their minds at the last second and decided to kill him off. But for the fans of the character, for the people that do like Noah, I sympathize with you guys, because I definitely don't blame you for feeling that he should live longer, because, for one thing, it looked like the writers were... It looked like he was introduced as, he was presented as a character that would live a long time. He was presented as a character that would live multiple seasons. So if you wish that he had lived multiple seasons, I certainly understand, because it seemed like he was written that way until all of a sudden, season 5, episode 14, where he just gets brutally, violently killed. I mean... he told Reggie that he was wanting to learn construction and learn how to build, and he seemed happy and everything, and he was talking to a girl. Some people might have missed that. There's like a little second where, it's Holly. It's Holly, right? Yeah, there's like a little second in Noah's death episode where, I think Tara's asking him about Holly, like, are you talking to Holly? Like, I want you to tell me about that, or I'll strangle you, like something sarcastic, like Tara wants Noah to tell her about it. So Noah's talking to Holly. He's talking to a girl. He's happy. He wants to learn construction. He wants to learn how to build things. And he has this big heart-to-heart with Reggie, and Reggie gives Noah a little book, and it seems like Noah has a bright future, and he has a purpose, and he's found his purpose in life, and he's happy. So those are all the things that get you killed, and of course they did. The only reason why they did all those things with Noah was because they wanted to kill him off. Now keep in mind, all of these things happen to Noah in his death episode. They don't happen to him before his death episode. They don't set up his death a few episodes prior or anything. They don't do the things that they did with Glenn or Abraham or Tyrese, where, you know, those cliched things that happen that usually means you're going to die on The Walking Dead, like being in a relationship or finding your true self, or, you know, being morally good, or having an epiphany, or even getting a lot of lines. You know, all those things usually mean that your death is about to happen on The Walking Dead. But for Noah, they all just happen out of nowhere in his death episode. You know, talking to Holly, finding his purpose, having a heart-to-heart with Reggie, being happy, you know, wanting a future. All those things happen in his exact death episode. That's another reason why I feel like killing off Noah might have been a last-second decision, where they just decided when they were filming the episode, or maybe the episode before, we're going to kill off Noah. Fuck it, well, let's kill off Noah. You know, we need a death. Let's kill off Noah. Let's kill off Dota. Let's kill off Noah violently and brutally, and you know, get some ratings. I don't know. It did seem like it was just kind of out of nowhere, and they just decided to kill him off out of nowhere, out of the blue. But I did like his death, and, you know, I didn't really like the character. I just, you know, in Season 5 and Episode 9, you know, Tyrese dies because Tyrese is trying to help Noah. And Noah runs off to his mom's and brother's house, and Tyrese chases after him and is trying to help him, and Noah wants to, you know, see the you know, what happened to his mother and brother. And, you know, Tyrese follows him, and they both go into the house, and Tyrese gets bitten. You know, if Noah hadn't ran over to the house like he did, if they had, like, stayed with Rick and Glenn and Michonne and just sort of carefully searched each area, you know, a little bit at a time, like strategically, Tyrese wouldn't have gotten bitten. But instead, Noah runs off to the house, and Tyrese is trying to do the right thing and protect him, so he chases after him, and then once they're in the house, Tyrese gets bitten. And then I remember when I first watched the episode, it was February of 2015. You know, Tyrese was pretty much my favorite character that hadn't died yet at the time. It was going to become Abraham, but at the time, in February of 2015, when What Happened and What's Going On aired, Tyrese was pretty much my favorite character that was alive. And when he got bitten on the arm, I was like, oh, no, he can still be saved. He can still be saved. He can still be saved. Noah, hurry your ass up. And you better limp that ass as fast as you can to Rick, so that Rick can cut Tyrese's arm off and you guys can save Tyrese. So what does Noah do? Noah gets, like, cornered by a bunch of walkers and is just like, help, help, I need help. So, like, Tyrese is you know, the infection is spreading in Tyrese's arm, and it's just frustrating because I really like Tyrese. And I'm like, Noah, what are you doing? Get your ass over to Rick. And it's just stupid. And I think earlier in that episode, Noah trips and he, like, hits his forehead. It's like, how clumsy is this guy? Like, I know he has a limp, but good grief. Herschel was missing a fucking leg, and he wasn't making half the mistakes that Noah made. If Noah had gotten to Rick earlier, they would have been able to cut off Tyrese's arm and probably save Tyrese's life. So it just, like I said, I kind of blamed Beth's death and Tyrese's death on Noah. When I look at Noah, when I look at his face, I see Beth and Tyrese dying. And yeah, I mean, I don't have any issues with Noah's death. I didn't really have a connection with the character. I didn't really like him that much. I didn't hate him, but I didn't like him that much. And it wasn't really the actor's fault. It was just the way that the character was written. I just didn't really connect with him in any way. I could have cared less if he lived or died. You know, if he had just been in season 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever, it would have just kind of been like just sort of like taking up space for me. I mean, I wouldn't have really cared that much. And I do sympathize with the fans of the character. I get it, you know. I could understand why someone else would watch this character and grow to like him and be emotionally invested in him. However, I simply did not, and it wasn't even necessarily about Beth or Tyrese. It just the character himself. Just I don't know. I kind of feel like he was introduced at an awkward time. Season 5, the first 3 episodes back to back are still to this day 3 of the best episodes of the show. And they're all really good, and you can watch all 3 of them together, and it's just great. And it's just definitely, without a doubt, the 3 best episodes of The Walking Dead that were, consecutive, one by one by one. And then there's the episode at the hospital, and then there's this new guy named Noah, and I don't know. I kind of feel like he was just introduced at an awkward time, and the whole hospital story as a whole was pretty weak, and that's kind of a bad thing because he was introduced at the hospital. It just, I don't know. The character just didn't work for me, and I loved his death episode. I loved how they killed him off. I loved how violent and gory it was. I mean, it is The Walking Dead. It was a gory, violent, well-filmed death, and it was just so surprising and so shocking. I figured after Tyrese, they weren't going to kill anyone else for the rest of season 5. They'd kill off someone in season 6, maybe Abraham. They'd give Abraham Abraham's comic death. So I figured that Abraham was going to be the next death. And then out of nowhere, in episode 14 of season 5, Noah gets his face crushed, and it's bloody, and it's gory, and it's disturbing, and it develops Glenn, and it's a cool moment, and it was shocking, and it had all the elements that a good death on the show should have, and it's one of my favorite deaths. I like the episode. It was well filmed and violent, and just had some unexpected twists, and yeah, I mean, it is cool that he got such a memorable death, I mean, if I was an actor, I would at least be proud of that. I mean, he really did get one of the best, most violent deaths in the show. And there's some honor in that, that he gets just one of the, I mean, in a show where thousands of characters die, that he gets one of the most memorable, gory deaths in the show. If you like the character, you might feel bad for him, but it is sort of honorable that he dies in such a gruesome, memorable fashion. And yeah, I do kind of like that, he dies in the same season he's introduced. I do believe that you do need to do that with Walking Dead characters every now and then. You need to shake things up every now and then. You can't have every character on The Walking Dead live at least 2 seasons. And it's tricky and it's awkward because if you kill them in the same season that they're introduced, you have to ask that question. Well, have they been developed enough? Did they have a big enough story arc to warrant them dying in their only season? But also, you do need to try to set that up, and if it's handled well, and if a character does get a full story arc, then sure, they can die in one season. But I do believe that every once in a while, you need those characters like Denise Cloyd and Benjamin and Noah that just last one season, because you don't want the audience to think that a character is going to survive the whole season because they got introduced. You don't want the audience to be like, oh, well, this is a new character. They just got introduced. They won't die this season. They're safe. You don't want the audience to feel that way. So killing characters in their only season, it mixes things up and it shakes things up. And I like Noah's death. For me, it wasn't a huge loss. I didn't really like that character, and I was just so shocked and kind of impressed and pleased that they not only killed him off, but they killed him off in a very memorable, brutal way, and it gave Glenn some good character development, and it was a good episode, and yeah, I mean, it was surprising. I hadn't been surprised by a death in a while, and that was just surprising. And I really liked his death episode. I know that some people will disagree, but I really liked his death episode, and I have no issues whatsoever with him dying in his first season. Really, I'm okay with that. So, yeah, overall, I don't feel like he was killed off too soon. I think it was appropriate how they handled it, and as far as the death goes, it was a very cool death. And when I'm watching The Walking Dead season 6, I am not missing Noah. I am not thinking, oh man, I wish Noah was here. It's just me. I know some people feel differently. Anyway, that's all I have for this video. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Please don't hate me too much. Please don't throw tomatoes at me. I'm just being honest. I'm trying to be respectful. And I've got no problems with Noah fans, and I sympathize with them. I am just being honest about my own personal feelings about the character. But yeah, don't be shy. Hit that like and subscribe. I'm not going anywhere. I make 1 to 2 Walking Dead videos per day, so please hit that subscribe button. Right now we are at 321 subscribers. My goal is to try to get to 400 in the next few months. So just remember, every subscriber counts, every bit of support matters, and is very, very appreciated. Anyway, with all that said, I am Spencer Rhodes, and I will see you guys later. Bye.